This video is about a single mother sat alone until a billionaire gave her a fortune. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers kissed the clouds and bright lights flickered like distant stars, lived a single mother named Clara. Her modest apartment, tucked away in an aging building, was a sanctuary filled with laughter and love, yet burdened with the weight of uncertainty. Clara worked tirelessly as a waitress in a local diner, her days often blending into an exhausting blur of coffee, clattering dishes, and the chatter of patrons. Each morning, she'd awake before dawn, preparing her young son, Leo, for school. His bright eyes and infectious giggle were the only joy that illuminated the dim corners of her life. "Mom, can we go to the park after school?" Leo asked one morning, his mouth smeared with peanut butter as he clumsily wiped his hands on his shirt. "Of course, sweetheart," Clara replied, a hint of sadness tinging her voice. There were days when the park felt like an unreachable dream. Her paycheck barely covered rent and groceries, let alone outings filled with carefree laughter. After a long shift, Clara returned home to find Leo sprawled on the living room floor, engrossed in a puzzle. Despite the exhaustion weighing on her shoulders, she knelt beside him, her heart swelling with pride. "Look, Mom, I almost finished it," he exclaimed, pointing to the colorful pieces. "Wow, you're amazing." Clara beamed, her spirits lifted. She often found solace in these small moments, but the reality of bills loomed over her like a storm cloud. As she tucked Leo into bed that night, she whispered, "Always remember, my love, you have the strength to chase your dreams." Leo nodded, his eyes closing slowly, as if he were already dreaming of possibilities. But the reality of Clara's life was an uphill battle. As the weeks passed, her shifts grew longer and her bank account dwindled. One evening, on her way home, Clara stumbled upon a flyer for a local charity event hosted by a billionaire named Nathaniel Hart. The event was meant to raise funds for struggling families, and although Clara hesitated, something deep inside urged her to attend. The evening of the gala arrived. Clara donned a simple dress, feeling painfully out of place among the elegantly dressed crowd. She took a deep breath and reminded herself that she was there for Leo, for their future. As she entered the grand hall, the atmosphere buzzed with chatter and laughter. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead, casting a warm glow on the attendees. Clara felt her heart race as she spotted Nathaniel Hart, the man behind the philanthropy, standing at the center of the room, surrounded by admirers. He was a tall man with a commanding presence, his dark hair slightly tousled, a warm smile illuminating his face. Clara admired him from afar, captivated by how he effortlessly engaged with everyone around him. As the evening unfolded, Clara moved quietly through the crowd, her heart heavy with the reality of her struggles. She overheard conversations filled with hope and dreams, but for her, those dreams felt distant, a luxury she could scarcely afford. Suddenly, Clara's phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a message from her landlord, reminding her that rent was due soon. Panic surged through her as she stepped outside for a moment to collect her thoughts. The chill of the night air was a harsh reminder of the weight she carried. "Are you all right?" The deep voice interrupted her thoughts. Clara looked up to see Nathaniel standing before her, his expression genuine with concern. "I am fine, thank you," Clara replied, her voice faltering slightly. "You don't seem fine. This event is meant to help those like you families struggling to make ends meet," Nathaniel said, his voice steady and kind. Clara hesitated, unsure of how much to reveal to this man who seemed so far removed from her world. "It's just things have been tough lately," she admitted, her defenses softening. "Life can be challenging, but it is also filled with hope," Nathaniel said, a warmth radiating from him. "What is your dream?" Clara's heart raced. "To give my son a better life," she confessed, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. "I want him to have opportunities I never had." Nathaniel studied her for a moment, as if weighing her words. "You're already doing an incredible job. The fact that you're here, seeking support, is a step in the right direction." His words resonated deep within her, igniting a flicker of hope in her heart. "Thank you," she whispered, feeling a connection to this stranger who seemed to understand her in ways many hadn't. As the evening wore on, Nathaniel made his rounds, but Clara held on to their brief conversation. She watched him interact with others, noting the genuine interest he showed in their stories of struggle, resilience, and hope. After a while, a charity auction began, and Clara found herself drawn to the items displayed. Among them was a scholarship for a single parent to pursue further education. It was a chance to transform her life, to open doors for Leo. "I should bid," she thought, but reality tugged at her, reminding her of her limited funds. With a heavy heart, she let the idea slip away as she watched the auctioneer raise the paddle for bids. In that moment, Nathaniel appeared at her side once more. "What are you thinking about?" he asked, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. Clara hesitated but finally said that scholarship would change everything for someone like me. "Then why not go for it?" he encouraged, his voice supportive. "You have dreams worth pursuing." "I can't afford to bid," Clara confessed, a lump forming in her throat. "Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. The universe rewards those who dare to dream," Nathaniel replied, his words resonating with her. Before she could respond, Nathaniel surprised her. "I'll place the bid for you. Let us make that dream of yours a reality." "Wait, no, I can't let you do that," Clara protested, feeling overwhelmed by his generosity. "You can and you will. I want to see you succeed," he insisted, his tone leaving no room for argument. With shaking hands, Clara watched as he raised the bidding paddle, and the auctioneer's voice echoed through the hall. It felt surreal to see her dream inch closer to reality, yet a nagging voice in her head whispered doubts. The auction continued, and soon the scholarship was hers. The crowd applauded, but all Clara could hear was the pounding of her heart. Nathaniel turned to her, his smile radiating warmth. "Now, you'll be one step closer to giving Leo the life he deserves," he said, his eyes shining with encouragement. Clara's chest tightened with gratitude. "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you." "You just promise me one thing," Nathaniel replied. "Never lose sight of your dreams. You're capable of more than you know." As the night drew to a close, Clara stood outside the gala, staring up at the starry sky. The weight she had carried for so long felt a little lighter. She realized that hope had taken root in her heart, nurtured by kindness and unexpected support. For the first time in a long while, Clara allowed herself to dream. She thought of Leo's laughter, of possibilities that lay ahead, and the journey they would embark on together. She was ready to embrace the challenges, armed with newfound resilience and strength. As the city light shimmered around her, Clara whispered a promise to the universe. She would fight for her dreams, and in doing so, inspire her son to reach for the stars. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of a remarkable journey, a journey filled with hope, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The next morning, Clara awoke to the soft rays of sunlight filtering through the thin curtains of her modest apartment. The sounds of the city outside hummed with life, but within the silence of her home, hope danced in the air. She glanced at Leo, still fast asleep, his cherubic face peaceful in the glow of dawn. "Today is a new day," she whispered, gently brushing a lock of hair from his forehead. The scholarship was not just a piece of paper, it was a lifeline, an opportunity for change. Today, she would take her first steps toward that change. After preparing breakfast, a humble meal of toast and scrambled eggs, Clara watched as Leo devoured his food, his energy infectious. "We've got something special to celebrate today," she said, trying to conceal her excitement. "What is it, Mom?" Leo asked, his mouth full. "I'll tell you after school," she teased, her heart swelling with joy. She wanted to share the news of the scholarship, but she also wanted to ensure it was anchored in reality, a step they would take together. After dropping Leo at school, Clara made her way to the local community college. The campus was a swirl of students bustling to and fro, and its vibrant energy was both exhilarating and intimidating. She clutched the scholarship certificate tightly, her heart racing as she thought of what lay ahead. "Be brave, Clara," she murmured to herself. "This is for you and Leo." Entering the admissions office felt like stepping into a new world. The vibrant posters lining the wall spoke of dreams, futures, and potential. Clara approached the receptionist, her hands trembling. "I am here to enroll in classes," she said, her voice steady despite the quaking in her heart. "That is fantastic," the receptionist replied with a warm smile, her enthusiasm infectious. "What program are you interested in?" Clara had given this a lot of thought the night before. She wanted to study business management, a path that could lead to a stable job, and perhaps even a future where she could own something of her own. "I want to study business management," Clara said, her voice unwavering. "Wonderful choice, we have a fantastic program for that," the receptionist responded, guiding her through the enrollment process. Clara's heart soared with every form she filled out. This was the first step toward creating a brighter life for Leo. As she walked out of the office, her heart raced with excitement and trepidation. She couldn't help but think about the challenges ahead. Balancing her studies, work, and motherhood would be no small feat. "Focus on one step at a time," she repeated to herself, her resolve strengthening. Days turned into weeks, and Clara embraced her new routine. After long shifts at the diner, she would return home, help Leo with his homework, and then burn the midnight oil studying. She felt invigorated, fueled by her determination and the dream of a better future. But life, as it often does, had other plans. One evening, as she prepared dinner, her phone rang. It was her landlord. "Clara, we need to talk about your rent. I can't hold off much longer," he said, his voice laced with urgency. Clara's heart dropped. "I understand. I'll do my best to make the payment by the end of the month," she replied, trying to keep the tremor out of her voice. But as she hung up, anxiety crept in, threatening to suffocate her resolve. "Mom." Leo called from the living room, breaking her reverie. He appeared at the doorway, his homework in hand. "Can we go to the park tomorrow, like you promised?" Clara swallowed hard. "Sweetheart, maybe we can go next week," she said, forcing a smile. "Okay," Leo replied, but the disappointment in his eyes was unmistakable. Clara pulled him into a hug, vowing to herself that she would not let their dreams slip away. Over the next week, Clara faced one hardship after another. Her shift at the diner grew longer, and she found herself battling exhaustion. One night, after a particularly grueling day, she sat at the kitchen table, papers strewn about her, and tears streamed down her face. "Why can't I do this?" she sobbed, feeling the weight of the world on her shoulders. Just then, her phone buzzed with a message from Nathaniel. "Hey Clara, just checking in. How's the scholarship treating you?" His simple inquiry opened a floodgate of emotions. She typed back, "It has tough. Balancing everything is overwhelming." Nathaniel's reply was swift. "Remember, it's okay to ask for help. You are not alone in this." Clara paused, the warmth of his words wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. She realized that perhaps she needed to reach out, not just to Nathaniel, but others who could lend a hand. The next day, Clara gathered her courage and contacted the local community center. They offered resources for single mothers, including support groups, and she knew this could be a vital lifeline. "Hello," the kind voice answered, and Clara felt her heartbeat quicken. "Hi, I am Clara. I am interested in joining a support group for single mothers," she said, her voice steady. "Absolutely, we'd love to have you. We meet every Wednesday. It's a great way to connect with others facing similar challenges." The relief that washed over Clara was profound. She realized that opening up to others could provide not only support but also strategies to navigate her journey. When Wednesday arrived, Clara entered the community center, her heart pounding. The room was filled with laughter and warmth. Women from diverse backgrounds sat in a circle, sharing stories of their struggles and triumphs. "Welcome to our circle," said a woman with curly hair and a smile that felt like home. "We were here to support each other through thick and thin. You are not alone." Clara felt tears well up as she shared her story. She spoke of her dreams for Leo, her struggles with juggling work and school, and the weight of unpaid bills. The empathy in the room was palpable, and for the first time, Clara felt seen and understood. "Thank you for sharing, Clara," another woman said. "Your strength is inspiring. We've all been there, and we'll help each other through it." As the weeks passed, Clara forged connections with the women in the group. They became her support system, offering advice, sharing resources, and cheering each other on. Clara felt her resilience returning, a fire igniting within her that she thought had dimmed. One evening, as they wrapped up a meeting, a woman named Maya approached Clara. "I heard you restudying business management. That's amazing. I have a friend who runs a small business. I can connect you." "Really? That would be fantastic." Clara's heart swelled with gratitude. The following week, Maya introduced Clara to her friend, Sarah. Sarah's enthusiasm for entrepreneurship was contagious. "I'll mentor you, help you with your business plan," she said, her eyes sparkling. Clara found herself learning and growing in ways she never thought possible. Each lesson brought her closer to her dream, and with each passing day she felt lighter. Though challenges remained bills to pay, long hours at the diner, and the pressures of school, Clara faced them with renewed strength. She was building a life filled with hope, one small step at a time. One night after dinner, as Clara sat with Leo, she turned to him and said, "You know what we should do this weekend? Go to the park." Leo's eyes lit up. "Really, you mean it?" "Absolutely. I want us to enjoy life together," Clara said, her heart swelling. The idea was liberating. It represented not just a trip to the park, but a celebration of their journey. When Saturday arrived, the sun beamed brightly in the sky, and Clara felt a sense of freedom as they strolled hand in hand to the park. Laughter filled the air as Leo raced ahead, eagerly exploring the playground. "Mom, come play with me," he called, his voice ringing with joy. Clara ran toward him, her heart dancing with happiness. They played tag, climbed the jungle gym, and shared ice cream, the day unfolding with laughter and love. For the first time in a long time, Clara felt the weight of her worries lift, replaced by the pure joy of being present with her son. That evening, as they returned home, Leo snuggled beside her on the couch. "Thanks for the best day ever, Mom," he said, his eyes sparkling. Clara hugged him tightly. "Thank you for being my biggest motivation, Leo. Together, we can conquer anything." As she watched him drift off to sleep, Clara realized that the struggles she faced were part of her journey, shaping her into the person she was becoming. She had learned that resilience was not just about surviving, it was about thriving, embracing every moment, and finding beauty in the ordinary. With renewed determination and the support of her newfound community, Clara knew she was on the path to creating a brighter future not just for herself, but for Leo too. She had turned the page to a new chapter, one filled with hope, strength, and the unwavering love of a mother. And as she drifted off to sleep that night, she whispered a quiet promise: she would never stop fighting for their dreams. As the days slipped into weeks, Clara settled into a new rhythm of life. The chaos of working, studying, and being a mother was daunting, yet she felt a sense of purpose guiding her every step. Each moment, whether joyful or challenging, became a thread in the tapestry she was meticulously weaving for Leo's future. One morning, as Clara prepared breakfast, Leo burst into the kitchen, his backpack bouncing against his small frame. "Mom, guess what? We have a field trip today," he exclaimed, his eyes dancing with excitement. "Really? That sounds amazing. Where are you going?" Clara asked, wiping her hands on a dish towel, feeling a sparkle of joy at his enthusiasm. "To the Science Museum. We're going to see the dinosaur exhibit." Leo's face lit up with wonder, and Clara couldn't help but smile back. "That's so cool. You'll have to tell me all about it when you get home," she said, pouring him a glass of juice. As they ate breakfast, she felt a pang of worry. "Hey, Leo, are the other kids going to bring lunch? I want to make sure you have something special." "Yeah, but it's okay, Mom. I am just excited to see the dinosaurs," he said, his innocence a balm to Clara's anxieties. "All right, I'll make you a super sandwich," Clara replied, putting on her best grin. As she crafted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, she felt the familiar heaviness in her chest. What if I can't afford to buy him a nice lunchbox? What if I can't make it to the next field trip? But she pushed the worries aside, reminding herself of the importance of celebrating small victories. Each day, her determination to provide for Leo grew stronger, and she couldn't let self-doubt overshadow their joy. The school day passed eventfully, and as Leo bounded through the front door later that afternoon, his face aglow with excitement, Clara felt the weight of her worries lift just a little. "Mom, you won't believe what I saw. There was a huge T-Rex and..." Wait, tell me everything," Clara urged, her heart swelling with pride as she settled beside him on the couch. "That dinosaur was taller than our apartment, and the fossils, I even got to touch a real one." Leo's hands animatedly illustrated the size of the dinosaur. "Can we go there together?" "Definitely," Clara replied, her heart warmed by his enthusiasm. "It sounds like we need to plan a special day together." As they talked about the dinosaur exhibit, Clara's phone buzzed with a new message. It was from Nathaniel. "Hi Clara, I was thinking about you and Leo. How is everything going?" A smile crept onto Clara's face. "Things are good," she replied, finding comfort in his consistent support. "Leo had a field trip today, and he loved it." "That's great to hear. I'd love to treat you both to a weekend outing. How about a visit to the museum? My treat." Nathaniel's offer radiated warmth across the screen. "Wow, that sounds wonderful, but..." Clara hesitated, grappling with her instinct to decline. "No buts. Let us make some memories together." Nathaniel's text came through, filled with genuine enthusiasm. Clara took a deep breath. The idea of accepting help was foreign. She was used to relying solely on herself. Yet she reminded herself of his kindness. "Okay, let us do it," she typed back, feeling a spark of excitement. The weekend arrived, and Clara found herself standing in front of the mirror, adjusting her hair. Thought of spending more time with Nathaniel brought a mix of nerves and giddiness. "You can do this," she muttered, smoothing out her dress. "You deserve this." When Nathaniel arrived at their apartment, he greeted Leo with an enthusiastic smile. "Hey, buddy, ready for an adventure?" "Yeah," Leo exclaimed, bouncing on his heels. "Let us go," Clara said, her heart fluttering as they headed out. The warmth of the sun enveloped them as they walked toward the museum. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and Clara felt a sense of hope fluttering within her. Inside the museum, Clara watched as Leo's eyes grew wide, taking in the vast exhibits. "Mom, look, the dinosaur skeleton," he shouted, tugging on her sleeve. "That's incredible." Clara replied, her heart swelled with joy at seeing her son so happy. As they explored, Nathaniel shared fascinating facts about the dinosaurs, engaging both Clara and Leo. "Did you know that the T-Rex had over 50 teeth?" he said, crouching down beside Leo. "And they were about the size of bananas." "Whoa, that is huge." Leo's eyes sparkled as he absorbed the information. Clara felt a sense of camaraderie forming between the three of them, a bond that had unexpectedly blossomed from a single act of kindness. As they stood in front of the massive T-Rex skeleton, Clara whispered a silent prayer of gratitude for this moment, one that was filled with laughter, connection, and the beauty of shared experiences. After hours of exploring the museum, they decided to grab lunch at a nearby cafe. Clara felt a flutter of nerves as they settled at a table, but Nathaniel's easy demeanor put her at ease. "So, what are your dreams, Clara?" he asked, leaning back in his chair, his gaze gentle. Clara paused, surprised by the question. "I want to build a better life for Leo," she answered, her voice steady. "I dream of owning my own business one day, something that can provide for us and give Leo opportunities." Nathaniel nodded, his interest piqued. "That is an incredible dream. What kind of business do you envision?" "I've thought about starting a bakery," Clara replied, her heart racing. "I love baking, and it is something I could see myself doing." "That sounds amazing. You should pursue that passion," Nathaniel encouraged, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "What is holding you back?" Clara took a deep breath, the weight of her insecurity surfacing. "Money, mostly. It is hard to think about starting something new when I am just trying to get by." Nathaniel leaned forward, his tone sincere. "I believe in you, Clara. You have what it takes to make your dreams a reality. Maybe we can brainstorm ideas together." The warmth of his words ignited a flicker of hope within her. "I do love that," Clara replied, feeling a renewed sense of determination. The conversation flowed easily, and Clara sensed a friendship blossoming between them, rooted in mutual respect and understanding. As they finished lunch, Leo excitedly recanted everything they'd seen, his joy infectious. Clara felt a warmth envelop her, gratitude washing over her. These were the moments she had fought so hard for, the memories that would last a lifetime. Days turned into weeks, and Clara continued to juggle her responsibilities. With Nathaniel's encouragement, she began to sketch out ideas for her bakery. His support group also became a valuable resource. They offered feedback, shared their own entrepreneurial dreams, and celebrated each other's successes. One evening, after a long day at work, Clara returned home to find Leo busily drawing at the table. "What is that, sweetheart?" she asked, slipping off her shoes as she approached him. "It is our bakery. Look, it has a big sign that says Clara's Bakery," Leo said proudly, holding up his crayon drawing. Tears brimmed in Clara's eyes. "Wow, it looks amazing. I love it," she said, kneeling beside him. "You're such a talented artist." "Thanks, Mom. When can we open it?" Leo asked, his face alight with excitement. "Soon, I hope," Clara replied, feeling a swell of hope and determination. "We're going to make it happen together." That night, as she tucked Leo into bed, Clara whispered, "Remember, sweetheart, we can achieve our dreams, no matter how big they seem. We just need to work hard and not give up." "I won't forget, Mom," Leo replied, yawning. "We're a team, right?" "Always," Clara smiled, her heart filled with warmth. As she settled into bed that night, Clara reflected on how far she had come. The challenges were still there, bills piled high, the pressure of school, and the uncertainties of starting a business, but she felt a newfound strength within her. With every step forward, she was reclaiming her narrative. The next day, Clara met with Maya and Sarah at the community center. They eagerly discussed her bakery ideas, brainstorming recipes and marketing strategies. "You have the creativity to make this work, Clara," Sarah said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Let us put together a business plan." "Really? You do help me?" Clara asked, astonished. "Of course, we're all in this together," Maya chimed in. "You got this, With their support, Clara felt invigorated. They spent hours crafting a plan, and as they mapped out the details, Clara felt the barriers of her self-doubt begin to crumble. Each word she wrote was a step closer to turning her dreams into reality. As the weeks progressed, Clara's bakery dreams began to take shape. She applied for small business grants, attended workshops on entrepreneurship, and even started experimenting with recipes at home. With Leo's and the kitchen often filled with the aroma of freshly baked cookies and cakes, Leo became her biggest cheerleader. "Mom, can I help?" he pleaded one afternoon as Clara rolled out dough for blueberry muffins. "Of course, my little sous chef." Clara grinned, handing him a small rolling pin. Just like we practiced. As they worked side by side, Clara found joy in the simple act of baking together. Leo giggled as he tried to mimic her movements, flour dusting his cheeks. "This is fun," he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "It really is," Clara replied, her heart swelling. In these moments, she felt the weight of her worries lift ever so slightly. Each muffin they baked was not just a delicious treat, it was a symbol of hope, evidence that they were inching closer to their dreams. However, the road was not without its bumps. One evening, after a long shift at the diner, Clara returned home to find a letter slipped under her door. Her heart sank as she recognized the familiar logo of her landlord. "Clara," the letter began, "I regret to inform you that rent is due next week, and I cannot extend any further grace. Please arrange payment immediately." "Mom, what is wrong?" Leo asked, noticing the shift in her expression. "Nothing, sweetheart, just a little bump in the road," she replied, forcing a smile. As soon as Leo was in bed, she sat down at the kitchen table, the letter crumpled in her fist. "Why can't things just get easier?" she whispered to herself, tears slipping down her cheeks. The weight of unpaid bills and the pressure of her dreams felt unbearable. But Clara knew that giving up was not an option. The following day, with a heavy heart, she called her landlord. "I am doing my best to gather the funds. Can we work something out?" she asked, her voice shaking slightly. "I've been patient, Clara, but I need payment," he replied curtly. "I cannot keep waiting." After hanging up, Clara felt a wave of despair wash over her. "What are we going to do, Leo?" she murmured as she paced the small living room. That evening, she reached out to Myra and Sarah through text. "Can we meet tomorrow? I need some advice." When she met them the next day, her heart felt heavy, burdened by the weight of her struggles. "I feel like I am drowning," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "I can't afford rent and I am worried about everything." Myra reached out, placing a comforting hand on Clara's arm. "You're not alone in this. Let us brainstorm ways to raise some quick cash." "I could bake for the neighborhood," Clara suggested, a flicker of hope igniting. "Absolutely. We could put together a flyer and promote it on social media," Sarah replied enthusiastically. With their encouragement, Clara felt a renewed sense of determination. That night, she designed a flyer for Clara's bakery, offering baked goods for delivery. The next day, she posted it online, hoping the community would respond. "Mom, what is that?" Leo asked, peering over her shoulder at the screen. "It is a way for us to earn some money," Clara explained, her heart swelling with hope. "If people like my treats, I'll order them." Leo clapped his hands. "Can I help you bake them?" "Of course, we make a great team," Clara said, ruffling his hair. The following days were a whirlwind. Clara and Leo baked together, filling their apartment with the sweet scent of cookies, cupcakes, and pies. The community responded enthusiastically, and Clara felt a surge of gratitude as orders started pouring in. "Mom, we sold 10 dozen cookies today," Leo exclaimed one evening, his eyes wide with excitement. "That is amazing. We're going to be busy this week," Clara replied, her heart lightening. As they worked tirelessly, Clara also juggled school assignments, hoping she could finish strong despite the chaos. But each late-night baking session and every order fulfilled became a step toward their dreams. One evening, as they packed up boxes of treats for delivery, Leo looked up at Clara with wide eyes. "Mom, do you think we'll have enough money for the rent?" "I believe we will, sweetheart," Clara replied, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. "We'll be working hard, and I know it will pay off." With each delivery, Clara felt the community rallying around them. Neighbors expressed their support, complimenting her baking skills and sharing her flyer with friends. It was a reminder that kindness existed in the world, shining through even during the darkest times. Then, one sunny Saturday morning, Clara received a message from Nathaniel. "Hey Clara, I've been hearing wonderful things about your bakery. I'd love to come by and support your business." Clara felt a rush of warmth. "That would be great. We'll be open for orders today." When Nathaniel arrived, Clara's heart raced. "Hi, Nathaniel," she greeted, a mixture of excitement and nerves coursing through her. "Welcome to Clara's bakery." "Wow, it smells incredible in here," he said, looking around with a warm smile. "What is on the menu?" Clara chuckled nervously as she handed him a menu filled with their offerings. "We have cookies, cupcakes, and some special blueberry muffins that Leo helped me with." "Let us do all of it." Nathaniel chuckled, his enthusiasm infectious. As he placed his order, Clara felt a renewed sense of purpose. "Thank you for always supporting me, Nathaniel. It means more than you know," she said sincerely. Of course, I admire your determination, Clara. You're rebuilding something special here, he replied, his eyes shining with encouragement. As they chatted, Clara felt the weight of her worries lift just a little more. Nathaniel's belief in her dreams infused her with hope, and their conversation reminded her that every challenge could be met with resilience. Later that day, after delivering Nathaniel's order, Clara returned home, her heart swelling with gratitude. We did it, Leo. People love our treats, she beamed, pulling him into a joyful hug. Can we celebrate? Leo asked, bouncing on his feet. Absolutely. How about a movie night with popcorn and your favorite snacks? Clara suggested with a smile. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Leo cheered, his excitement filling the room. As they settled on the couch, Clara wrapped an arm around Leo, her heart brimming with love and pride. And no matter how tough things get, we'll always have each other, right? Right, Mom? Leo replied, snuggling closer. We're a great team. With each passing day, Clara found that the seeds of her dreams were beginning to bloom. The support of her community, her friends, and her son provided her with the strength to keep pushing forward. Weeks turned into months, and Clara's bakery flourished. Gradually, she was able to pay her rent on time, and the looming worries began to fade, replaced by hope and possibility. One evening, as she sat with Leo on their apartment balcony under a blanket of stars, Clara turned to him. You've been my biggest motivator, Leo. Your belief in me drives me every day. I believe in you, Mom. You're the best baker ever, she said, his voice brimming with pride. Clara smiled, her heart swelling with love. And together we can achieve anything. That summer, Clara's bakery gained attention in the local community, even landing a feature in a local newspaper. The story highlighted her journey as a single mom, her resilience, and the delicious treats she created with love. As the article spread, more customers flocked to her door. Clara felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over her. She had faced her fears, persevered through countless obstacles, and emerged on the other side stronger than before. One afternoon, while arranging freshly baked pies in her shop, Clara received a call from the community college. Hello, Clara. We'd like to invite you to speak at our entrepreneurship workshop next month. Your story is truly inspiring. Stunned, Clara could hardly believe it. Really? I would be honored. As she hung up, she felt a surge of excitement. Leo, guess what? I am going to speak at a workshop and share our story. Wow, Mom, that is so cool. You'll be amazing. Leo shouted, his enthusiasm infectious. Clara's heart swelled with pride, and she realized just how far she had come. She was no longer just a waitress struggling to make ends meet. She was a business owner, a role model for her son, and a voice for others facing similar challenges. The day of the workshop arrived, and Clara stood nervously in front of the audience, her heart racing. I am just a single mom who wanted to create a better life for my son, she began, her voice steadying. Life can be tough, but it is the journey that shapes us. Through kindness, resilience, and support from my community, I turn my dreams into reality. We all have the power within us to rise above our circumstances and build the futures we desire. As she spoke, Clara could see the audience captivated by her story. Some nodded in understanding, while others wiped away tears. She felt a sense of connection, a shared experience,